I am Praise Adeleke, bringing you the latest stories at this hour. The headlines first. Court of Appeal dismisses appeal by Ondo State Governor over re-election. Former Governor of Kaduna State alleges political undertone in investigation. Adamawa Governor imposes 24-hour curfew on Lamurde over communal clash. And to the main bulletin, we begin in Abuja, where the Court of Appeal has dismissed an appeal filed by Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa challenging a federal high court ruling that questioned his eligibility to contest the next governorship election in the state. In a unanimous judgment, a three-member panel of the appellate court held that the Federal High Court in Akure acted properly when it granted the plaintiff, Akindele, permission to amend his originating summons in the case. Justice Uchechukwu Oyema, who delivered the lead judgment, ruled that Aiyedatiwa failed to prove that the trial judge decision caused him any injustice or denied him a fair hearing. The court therefore dismissed the governor's appeal for lacking merit and awarded 2 million naira in costs against him. The court also rejected Aiyedatiwa's application seeking to set aside its earlier order of January 27, 2026, which stayed further proceedings in the suit before the Federal High Court in Akure. According to the appellate court, the order was a lawful step taken to protect the integrity of its proceedings and did not invalidate the lower court's judgment. It added that if the governor is dissatisfied with its ruling, his proper option is to approach the Supreme Court. The Court of Appeal further awarded 1 million naira in cost against the governor over the application to set aside its earlier order. Still in court, the appellate court sitting in Abuja today affirmed the November 14 judgment of the Federal High Court, which restrained the People's Democratic Party from proceeding with its November 15 and 16 National Convention in Ibadan without allowing former Jigawa State Governor Sule Lamido to participate as a chairmanship candidate. In a unanimous decision, a three-member panel of the appellate court held that the party went ahead with the convention despite a substituting court order directing that Lamido would be allowed to take part in the process. The court noted that the PDP's action amounted to contempt and showed clear disregard for the authority of the court. It also rejected the party's argument that it relied on a judgment from another court to coordinate jurisdiction, stressing that it is not responsible of any party to choose which court order to obey. According to the appellate court, the PDP ought to have either applied for a stay of execution or filed an appeal against the earlier ruling before proceeding with the convention. The court therefore upheld the judgment of the Federal High Court and dismissed the party's appeal for lacking merit, while awarding 2 million naira in cost against the PDP. It was obviously a busy day at the Court of Appeal, which was upheld the convention of sentencing of former Group Managing Director of Nigerian Army Properties Limited, Umar Mohammed, over the misappropriation of funds belonging to the company. In a certified true copy of the judgment, the appellate court dismissed Mohammed's appeal, which challenged the jurisdiction of the Special Court-Martial of the Nigerian Army and the validity of its verdict. The former senior officer had earlier been tried and convicted by the court-martial on October 10, 2023, for offenses bordering on stealing and criminal misappropriation of company funds. Following the convention, Mohammed was dismissed from the Nigerian Army, sentenced to imprisonment and ordered to refund $2,000 plus and 1.65 billion naira to Nigerian Army Properties Limited. Dissatisfied with the ruling, he approached the Court of Appeal in February 2025, arguing that his conviction was not supported by sufficient and credible evidence. However, a three-member panel of Justices Abba Mohammed, Okon Abang, and Eberechi Yesom Wike dismissed the appeal, holding that the evidence presented before the court-martial clearly established the offenses. The appellate court held that the special court-martial was right to reject the former general's defense, describing it as inconsistent and unreliable, while noting contradictions in his testimony regarding the operations of the Army's property company. Outside the court, the lawyer of the former Kaduna State Governor, Nasir El-Rufai, has accused the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission of conducting a politically motivated campaign against his client following reports linking him to alleged multi-billion naira properties in Egypt. Reports emerged today that the ICPC traced 6 real estate assets in Egypt to El-Rufai. All 6 assets, 3 villas and 6 apartments, are said to be located in Hybro Estate and areas in Cairo, the capital of Egypt. Speaking via a statement, El-Rufai's counsel, Ubong Akpan, described the allegation as unfounded and claimed they were circulated through unanonymous leaks rather than verified investigations. Akpan alleged that ICPC had been holding the former governor without charge for over 20 days after he was transferred from the custody of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. And in security, Governor Ahmadu Fintiri has imposed a 24-hour curfew on Lamurde local government area of Adamawa State, following renewed violent attack in the communities. The governor's chief press secretary announced the directive in a statement, saying the decision became necessary after fresh clashes between the communities, who reportedly led to loss of lives and heightened tensions. According to the statement, the curfew takes immediate effect and will remain in place until further notice, with security agencies directed to enforce the restrictions strictly to restore order in the area. They also warned that any individual or group that violates the curfew will be arrested and prosecuted, while urging residents to cooperate with security operatives and provide useful information that could help end the crisis. And to governance, the Rivers State House of Assembly has screened 9 commissioners' nominees submitted by Governor Siminalayi Fubara, confirming 5 and rejecting 4 others after deliberation. The confirmed nominees are Tonye Belgam, Professor Tempu Nwanfo, Dr. Peters Nwango, Kenneth, and Edward Hart. However, the Assembly rejected the nomination of Professor Dantoye Alasia, Charity Demoa, Tamuno Williams, and Otoye Amarachi following concerns raised during the screening. Lawmakers questioned some nominees over discrepancies in document, tax clearance, certificates, and past public comment before voting on their confirmation. The Assembly said it would formally communicate its decision to Governor Fubara for the swearing-in of the confirmed nominees. We will tell you how much Dangote Refinery now says fuel. That's on business. Join us again. Fuel prices in Nigeria have surged again after Dangote Petroleum Refinery raised the gantry price of premium motor spirit to 1,175 naira per litre and diesel to 1,620 naira per litre, marking the 3rd increase in a week. Retail pump prices in many states now exceed 1,000 naira per litre, with some stations. Good evening. I am Praise Adeleke, bringing you the latest stories at this hour. The headlines first. Court of Appeal dismisses appeal by Ondo State Governor over re-election. Former Governor of Kaduna State alleges political undertone in investigation. Adamawa Governor